This is Shira, and this is the outlook for the Leo new moon of August 8th, 2021. So to begin with, we have the new moon at exactly 16 degrees 14 minutes of Leo. And what does Leo represent? Leo is warm-hearted. Leo is dramatic. Leo is the need for attention and attention getting. Leo is generous, amorous, and affectionate. And Leo is a fire sign, enthusiastic and full of vitality, and sunny. Now, Leo is also a fixed sign, and fixed signs are very stubborn and very staid to what they believe is true. So, on one hand, we have this beautiful, glorious new moon in Leo, loyal Leo. Then we have Saturn retrograde at 9 degrees Aquarius. And within just over 7 degrees, we have a square to the new moon and a square to Uranus at 14 degrees of Taurus, that which completes the T-square to Leo. Full T-square. So for this new moon, we will feel very generous, very open, enthusiastic for love, new plans, and the like. It's a fresh start. It's a wondrous new moon. Issue is that the new moon bumps into Saturn in idealistic Aquarius and stubborn, earthbound Taurus, Uranus. What does this mean? Well, again, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus, they are fixed signs. And you have the need for affection, attention, warmth, and generosity mixed with the objective, opinionated, yet friendly, and very unique Aquarius, Saturn, with the very stubborn, possessive, and very sensible, earthy Taurus. And again, they are fixed signs. So, because the moon, the new moon, is in Leo, we will have this desire for attention, love. We may want the spotlight. And it's about our values, being loyal. However, this bumps into, again, the idealistic Saturn in Aquarius and very stubborn Uranus in Taurus. So we could say that we may feel a tinge bit taken advantage of, or feel as if our need for attention, love, and affection, loyalty may be challenged. So although this is a fresh, beautiful new moon, it is a bit challenging with the need for warmth and the limelight, and in our need for such, we will have to be careful that, or we will notice that persons and or events in our lives will somewhat oppose us and somewhat dampen our enthusiasm for the Leo qualities. It's like we will be all out, happy, enthusiastic, ready for love, ready for the limelight, and we are finding that there is a little opposition coming from other corners. That's not to say that this is a negative new moon, but one where we may feel challenged or perhaps quelched because Leo likes the show, likes the generosity, is outgoing, fiery. And when you combine this with the T-square with Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, well, we may feel a little bit held back and frustrated in matters of the heart. And especially, since these are fixed signs, almost immovable in their attitude and opinion. So, the key here is, as always, with the fixed emphasis, but to be negotiable, open-minded. So, if we can do that, we will pull back and just let this time kind of go by and go with the flow. And as always, where this Leo new moon and its T-square are in your chart, personally, is where it will have the greatest effect for you. For example, if you have a Gemini rising, the new moon will be in your third house of travel, communications, neighbors, vehicles, and so on and the like. So although you might have a grand time traveling or a grand time communicating with those around you, you equally may feel challenged for your outgoing warmth and generosity from others' opinions. If you have, say, the Leo stellium new moon with Mercury in your first house, you may feel like you personally, because it would be on your ascendant, would be challenged by relationships and connections with the public, and so on. So please do look to your personal birth chart. Now, moving along, we have Mars at 6 degrees Virgo with roughly 21 degrees Venus in Virgo. The good news is here, Venus makes a blessed trine to Pluto, still retrograde in Capricorn. So what does this mean? Well, Pluto and Virgo and Uranus are earth signs. So although there is not a complete grand trine in Earth, although Uranus is within 6 degrees of the almost 21 degrees Venus, but Uranus is within 9 degrees Pluto, it does lend for positive, earth, sensible, practical energy. So although we are feeling a little bit held down, maybe frustrated, our energy somewhat quelched upon this new moon, equally, we will have a sensible, intelligent, practical approach to our communication and our actions. So the advice here would be, when frustrated, when feeling a bit held back, it's a time for good old common sense and sensibility with this beautiful earth sign energy. Now, Mars and Venus are not conjunct any longer. However, they are both in Virgo and make positive connections with Uranus and with Pluto. So the key here is to stay focused and stay grounded on our objectives and our goals, especially since we do have a quincunx aspect between Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. So we may feel that some of our ideals or goals are not met, and we may feel a sense of frustration. However, if we continue to plug along and believe in ourselves, believe in what we want, we will be very successful. So we now have Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It is the planet of generosity, and in Aquarius, extremely idealistic and independent, self-sufficient, as with retrograde Saturn in Aquarius. And Aquarius is creative. It's brilliance, genius, inventive, and very unique. Now, although Saturn and Uranus are now in no way making a conjunction by aspect, because Saturn and Jupiter are now both in Aquarius, we, during this period of time until December of this year, will see a lot of progress regarding technology, inventions. However, with the retrograde motion of Jupiter and Saturn, although we may see much in the way of unique genius and inventions and creativity, there still may, as of yet, be issues regarding technology, social media, and groups and organizations. And especially as Jupiter and Saturn gain a closer, tighter square to Uranus. So Saturn is still, as of yet, roughly within 5 degrees square with Uranus. So there will still, as of yet, be lots of discussions amongst groups, possible concerns with bullying or hacking, differences of opinion, but group activity and the internet will be focused upon at this time until the end of 2021. And we, as of yet, still have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter and Neptune all retrograde. So if some of your plans seem as if they are moving forward a little slower than normal, well, this is a time to what? Retrograde, reflect, And a lot of activity may be coming back to us from the past. People from the past, some of us may have to contend with or deal with actions, people, events, what have you, from the past, especially with all this retrograde activity with 4 big outer planets. However, there is always good with reflecting upon the past, because if anything needs correction or repair or fixing, this is the time to do it. And as aforementioned, where these 4 planets, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, appear in your birth chart will be of utmost importance, and where you will be looking back to the past. So we still have, well, somewhat of a sextile between Neptune and Uranus in Taurus, and it's earth and water. And with Neptune, Neptune is very creative, somewhat like Aquarius, but Neptune rules much with what? Water. It rules creativity, sensitivity, fantasy, dreams, and spirituality, as well as philosophy. With the very wide sextile to Neptune and Uranus and Taurus, somewhat like the Earth energy, we will take a very practical approach to all matters. So, for example, this month with the new moon, we may feel a bit put upon with this fixed sign T-square. But with the Earth sign emphasis and the sextile certainly between Neptune and Uranus, we may look at events and people, what have you, on a more practical, intelligent point of reference. And this is very important, especially since in this particular new moon chart, there is not much except for the Leo, Mercury, Sun, and Moon, new moon emphasis in fire. Now we do have Chiron in Aries, which will also help to heal any old wounds, as there is a trine with the new moon, and Chiron is thought of as the healer. So in all this possible frustration, we have some wonderful and blessed connections with Chiron, the healer, with the new moon, and that will help us to heal from any hurts or misunderstandings. And equally, we have the South Node in Sagittarius and the North Node in Gemini, and they will make respectively a sextile and a trine to the new moon. So there is some good in this chart. Now, we do have, as mentioned, the square with the fixed sign emphasis, but there is also a square, or I should say, an opposition to Venus and Neptune. So, yes, there will be some frustrations with this Leo new moon because of the fixed connections. However, because of the opposition with Venus and Neptune, we may feel like there's something we may feel a little bit confused about or deceived with this Venus-Neptune conjunction. This is not a time, I would say, during this Leo new moon to speculate, because Venus rules what? Venus rules love. And with Venus in picky Virgo, we on one hand may feel that we are very discriminating in love, yet we may feel that we are criticized in love. And to add to this, we have this very confusing or deceptive opposition. So within about a week, Venus will move into the very relationship-oriented and balanced sign of Libra. So if we can just take a hint from the very earthy emphasis, well, not quite a trine, but certainly a trine by sign, if not by aspect, and the sextile between Neptune to Uranus. If we can take a hint by not becoming emotional or dramatic, also Leo, and pulling back and becoming objective and not reacting impulsively to what we may feel is deception, confusion, frustration, and put a little enthusiasm into our love irregardless, and become more detached, then hey, this is going to be a pretty decent Leo new moon. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.